In today's video, I built my real life house in Bloxburg. Hey glossettes, welcome back. How are you guys doing today? Now for years, people have been asking me to build my full real life house. However, I've never really seen the appeal of just doxing myself online, funnily enough. But today that changes because I'll be showing you where I live and we shall be building it together because who cares about online safety? I'm just kidding, by the way. I don't even live there anymore, hence why now I'm building it. But we shall talk about that more later, okay? For now though, what I'm gonna do is show you a tour of my real life house. Let me cover my family up. This is like the outside. We're gonna go inside. So when you walk in, this is like the little hallway. We have like the living room door, stairs, kitchen, bathroom, and garage. This is just like the little downstairs bathroom we have, or had, should I say. And then the hallway's got stuff in because we're still moving a few things out. There's like a little window. The stairs will go up in a minute, but this is the kitchen, which is pretty cute. So it's like cream and brown. We have the old utility room, which had like washing machines and stuff in. The fridge used to be there. The microwave's there. We have the little pantry under the stairs. You can hear people going up the stairs right now. We're cleaning like the few final things before we move. This is where the dining table was. This is like a big space, and then this is the living room. There's like a huge window, and then yeah, we had like a sofa here and the TV on the wall. And this is the conservatory, which is the last thing it was used for, was like the cat kind of bedroom area. But from here you can see the garden, so it's like a big triangle shape. There's like a little, that's like bamboo, that plant there, and then we've got a swing. There's like decking. We have like a table there. The barbecue used to be over there. We have like sofas over here. There's the old fire pit, like washing. If I go around the corner, it actually feels illegal to like be showing this much of the house, but this is like the other side of this. We have like another big grass area. I can show you the garden now. So it's like lots of grass, trees. There's like, we used to have a basketball net here. Oh my god, I just tripped over a fence. There's another fence here with bamboo. And this is like around the corner, so this is like the outside. The back of the house is a completely different color from the front, by the way. There's the garden. Pretty cute. Okay, let's go up the stairs. Then this is the upstairs floor. It's actually so weird seeing it empty, so you know what, we'll start with my room. So my room is here, like if I stand here at like the corner of the hallway. So you guys have probably seen this in a lot of different videos, but now it's completely empty. That's my bathroom. We'll go in a second, but this is what it looks like. I had my desk there and like my bed in the middle. I have these big wardrobes and stuff like that. So yeah, this is where I've made every single video on my channel. And then we have my little bathroom in here. I don't know if the power's on. Yeah, it is. Okay. Which just looks like this. I've never actually shown this like on camera before, but yeah, there's like a shower and then we have like a mirror. But yeah, this is my little bathroom I had. It's actually so weird to be like touring this when it's completely empty. Then next to my room, in this room, this was an office. So we just have like a little rectangle kind of room. And then if I go down this way, we have like the balcony to the front door. And then this was my parents' room, which is huge because it was like technically meant to be like an upstairs living room, but we just used it as a bedroom. And then back down the hallway, we have a few more rooms. So this one was like another office. This is where I had like all my merch and stuff when I released my merch collection in February. We have like a wardrobe. This is a bathroom with like a bath and stuff like that. And then the last room is this one, which was my brother's room, and it's very blue. We have like a wardrobe. This is all of this, and this has another bathroom, which you can see is like kind of gray with another shower. It matches my one. But yeah, that is the tour of my old house. Kind of crazy. Anyways, that is pretty much what my house looked like, and we will be furnishing it. I know the video, it was like all empty in the clips, but we are actually going to try and recreate how it looked before it was empty. But let's move on to the first step, which is obviously building the structure. Now I knew from before I even started this build that actually building the walls and the structure of the house was by far going to be the worst part of this. If you've ever tried to recreate like real life buildings in Bloxburg before, you'll know how insanely difficult it is just to get the scale right, because one, Bloxburg walls are all obviously a certain size, and two, Roblox avatars are not as tall as like real life people. They are not the same scale. It's just so hard to get it looking right. But I started off simple with the front of the house, and every door or window you see me place down at this bit, by the way, is temporary. I was just trying to use them to kind of like measure the space, but literally instantly the scaling was bothering me so much. However, I was trying to like power through it and just try and use default Bloxburg walls instead of basic shapes to begin with to see how much I could get done. However, after I'd attempted to make the entire bottom floor and then started on the top a little bit, I realized it was just not working, okay? It was so kind of like not the same shape. So then I decided to kind of start at the front again and work my way around kind of more specifically using a mixture of walls and basic shapes to try and make the walls be as accurately sized as possible. I also also added some basic shapes to kind of mark out where the stairs would go, and then I also very slowly obviously just went around trying to make sure each area was actually the correct size, which took me like an hour, by the way. I will say the upstairs was definitely the most difficult, but eventually I ended up with a decent enough rough shell of everything. And after that I also went around and then neatened this up again as well.
It just needs a little shaping.
Which brings us to now with this lovely house layout you see behind me, which looks pretty accurate. I will say some of it is definitely not, but I have done the very best I can. We also have to do the garden later, by the way. We will be including that, but we are going to hop into build mode and start actually kind of building this thing. We're going to start with I think the first floor just to kind of slowly work our way up, and I might just start with the stairs now, not gonna lie, to get these out the way with. Anyways, hi guys, we're gonna yap whilst I do this. So obviously, as you can probably tell, I have moved out of the house that I'm currently building. So basically a little bit of a, I guess, backstory on this house. So I lived there for 7 years with my family, obviously, and we didn't actually own it, so we were just renting it, but now the owners want to sell it. We have to move somewhere else. So if you've watched my recent videos, you'll know that I moved to near the beach. Okay, wait, this isn't working. These stairs are going to annoy me, I can tell already. But yeah, I've now moved house. I moved out like a month ago, but I really wanted to build my old house because so many people have been asking for me to build it, or at least tour the entire thing for years. I've only ever kind of shown very kind of small little angles of it, like my room I've shown, and then also the kitchen when I did like old baking videos, but I've never shown all of it because obviously privacy reasons. It's not even just my house, it was my family's too, so I'm not gonna put like our entire house on the internet. However, now we're moving out, I can do as I please, okay? I can post as much of the house as I want because we don't live there anymore. I'm not even joking. I've been waiting for the day we move just so I can record like building the entire thing. I've wanted to do this for so long, but obviously it's not smart to show my entire house on the internet. Anyways, yeah, so I lived there for 7 years, and every single video you've ever seen on my channel, minus like the recent 5, was filmed in that house. Like I started my channel in that house. Every achievement, every elf hunt video has all been made in that house. So it's kind of crazy to be saying goodbye. I've been very emotional, and I think that's kind of another reason why I want to build it now, because it feels like nice to be able to keep it in Bloxburg. Oh, this is so low. This is gonna drive me crazy. Wait, in terms of my new house, I am actually gonna be showing you guys like my new room. I think I'm gonna build my new room when it's finished in Bloxburg as well. You'll see my new room. You'll also see my new studio at one point. I'm planning on doing like content on basically everything. So on my vlog channel, I'll be kind of showing my new room being like decorated, and then on this channel I'll be showing my new studio be decorated. So you'll see a lot of kind of like my area of the new house, and you'll also see the kitchen probably, because I promised you guys a baking video for 100k, and I intend to keep that promise even if I don't want to do it. Everything just felt so well timed though, because I hit like 100,000 subscribers before we moved, like a month or two before we moved, which I feel like is kind of like a nice goal to kind of finally hit in the original house I started my channel in, if that makes sense. The bottom step was kind of round, so what I'm gonna do is use the cylinder to kind of like make the side of it round. Here we go. Okay, perfect. And then what I'm gonna do is very quickly go back over all of this and just make it neat. So I finished the kind of like stair structure. Here we go. They're looking kind of cute. However, I just realized obviously I need to do the banisters and everything, and they're all like glass, so we're gonna do that now. I also got like a pretty accurate color for the horrible brown carpet, which I'm so glad to be rid of. Oh wait, no, my new carpet's brown as well. Talking about the brown carpet, I absolutely hated it for like the entire time I lived in this house. Like genuinely despised it. I was so excited to move so I could get rid of the brown carpet, and then obviously the carpet I have now is also brown, except in my office actually, because we've obviously just moved in, and this room, like my office room, didn't actually have carpet in it. So I got this like really nice gray carpet. So this is like my safe zone away from the brown carpet. I just hate brown carpet. I can't even remember if the wall trim actually looks like this, but I know it looks like it across here. What I'm going to quickly do is basically add like the kind of glass railings and stuff like that, which should be pretty easy. It shouldn't take that long. Also, this is my kind of lineup for this build. This is what I'm listening to, the most random mix of songs. I feel like I need to do like a daily song. Every time I do a build video, I'll show you guys what I'm listening to. But then again, I feel like most of the time it's Arctic Monkeys, so you guys might get incredibly sick of me. Okay, let's make some like glass kind of panels. Also, this hallway is annoying me because this isn't meant to be this small. It's meant to be like this length, but I physically can't make it bigger. Like it wouldn't work on the build. Okay, anyways, I'm gonna very quickly finish this fence off whilst I watch Average Harry's new stream. Fun fact, if any of you know who Average Harry is, He's basically like this, I wouldn't call him a Minecraft streamer. He's done Minecraft before, I think, but he's just like a Twitch streamer. He's like friends with like Tommy in it and stuff like that, and we're actually friends on Roblox. So what I'm doing now is moving on to doing the kitchen counters, and I have no idea why, but I've been so excited for this part. I just feel like this is gonna be so fun to do. I just need to make sure these kind of fit the scale of bloxburg quickly. Oh wait, how am I gonna put a sink in if I use basic shapes? Okay, wait. I think what I'm gonna do for this is use these like basic counters and then add my own details onto them. That might be kind of like the smartest way to do it, especially for this area on the wall here. For this one, however, this is gonna have to be custom because it's round. Anyways, I was looking through my little list I have of like things to talk about in videos, and coincidentally, last night I dreamt about something that I already had written down to talk about, so I feel like maybe now is a good time. This is another one of those things which is so embarrassing. So basically, okay, if we go all the way back to, I think 2016, 2017, some of you may remember this, but back when TikTok was actually called Musical.ly, obviously we had like a bunch of different influencers back then than we do now, and there were these two twin brothers, okay, called Max and Harvey, like these British twin brothers that would make TikToks. I'm pretty sure they were actually singers, not gonna lie. Honestly, I can't even remember, but I was obsessed with them. This is when I was like 12, 13. I had like a fan page for them on Instagram and everything, and that was like the only fan page I've ever made. I never really used it because it took a lot of I had to kind of talk myself into it in the first place because I've never really made fan accounts before. I don't think I even posted on it. I think I posted on it once. I'm pretty sure it's still on Instagram to this day. And then one day, okay, wait, I'm gonna have to explain this bit as well. So basically, where I live now, where I've lived for the past like 8 years, is in the north of England. A lot of you know the city I'm from, but I used to live, like 8 years ago, I used to live in the Midlands in this tiny little town. But before I lived in the Midlands, I lived back up here again. Like I was born in the north of England and everything. So I had like a bunch of friends up here. So one day I come back up to the north of England to meet up with some friends, and we were gonna go to the shopping center that we always go to, which is by far the best in the whole world, the Metro Center. If you're northern, you'll know what the Metro Center is. I love the Metro Center. It's my favorite place in the world, okay? But I was there back in like 2017 with a few of my friends, just on a random day. We didn't really know what else was going to be going on at the Metro Center, and we were walking, and then we got to where WH Smith is. So WH Smith is like a book and a stationery, should I say? And we were walking past, and we realized there was like tons of people lined up in there for some reason. So obviously, being the nosy like 12-year-olds we went inside and tried to figure out what on earth was going on. And then do you want to know what my eyes locked onto? It was Max and Harvey in the flesh, just stood like a meter away from me because they were doing a book signing, and I lost my mind. None of my friends had ever heard of them before, but I was like freaking out. However, the catch was that you had to buy a book to be able to meet them, and I didn't have the book, nor could I buy it, so I didn't actually get to meet them, and I was so upset. However, my friends, I was with I think 3 other girls and 3 other boys, and obviously when they found out there was like famous people there, they also started freaking out and being like, oh my god, let's get pictures of them. We were like hiding behind the display shelves trying to get pictures of Max and Harvey, and by we I mean them. I wasn't doing that because I was too scared, because it felt rude, so that wasn't me, okay? However, because they were kind of hiding behind shelves trying to take pictures of them and not being involved in the meet and greet, they got us kicked out. So we got kicked out of WH Smith, and I never got to meet them, but they were stood right there. If I have a picture, I'll put it on screen. I'm pretty sure I have a picture of like at least a very blurry photo of them, but it was so crazy. Like, they were just there completely randomly. I didn't even know they were going to be there. Do they even still make content? Wait, I want to see this. They went on the X Factor? Wait. Oh, so they still do stuff. They have like a podcast and things. I'm trying to add like a curve in the corner. It's actually going pretty good. Look at that. That does not look bad. I just need to make it the same size. There we go. Wait, that's perfect. Wait, this actually looks so good. And then we need like a really ugly cream color. That kind of works. And then for the countertop, it was like this marble that kind of like, honestly, it looked a bit like this. I'm gonna be real. Why does it look accurate? I can't use that. That's so bad. If it wasn't called corroded metal, it would be perfect. But the countertop was kind of like brown. Wait, that kind of looks good. Oh my god, wait, I need to put an oven in the middle of this. I'm kind of just thinking about random celebrity stories now, so if you guys have any like random encounters you've had with like celebrities or like YouTubers or something, leave them in the comments. I'm really nosy. I want to know. Also, as you can probably tell, the floor looks nothing like the actual floor. I couldn't find a tile kind of texture that works, so what I'm actually gonna do is make my own. Oh my god, I can't place the electric cooktop on here. That is so annoying. I want one like right there. Yet another thing I'm gonna have to make custom, but yeah, I'm gonna make my own tiles just to make it as accurate as possible because none of the textures looked very good. So what I tried to do now was just get the bottom floor as furnished as possible, and I started with the kitchen, just trying to kind of place down objects I actually had in the kitchen, but so much of it had to be custom made because obviously Bloxburg doesn't have every single item I have in real life, and I think this was the moment I started to realize just how long this build was gonna take. I also then realized that when I was adding the cupboards, the reason I found the spacing so weird is because we literally missed out an entire dishwasher, so I added that. I added the dining table area and many armchairs we had in the house. I also added the tiles on the floor, and then I moved on to furnishing the living room, starting with attempting to custom make something to resemble these IKEA lights we had, and basically just added everything else in there. I got pretty much the entire bottom floor done, which you'll see in a second, and it took me literally 2 days, and I was practically just building with basic shapes the entire time. So we're actually going to move on to the second floor, more specifically the best room in the house, my room next. I've done so much of the downstairs area. I think it's nearly completely done, minus a few details. Obviously, you'll see it all in full in the tour. I am actually planning on, oh no, why is that sticking through the wall? Anyways, I am planning on kind of like at the end doing kind of comparison photos to kind of show you real life versus the Bloxburg version. We're gonna leave this for now and start working on my room. So I will put some images of my room on screen now. This is basically what it used to look like. I'm gonna start with the bed. Luckily, pretty much all of my furniture is the IKEA Malm range, so it pretty much should be really easy to make. I'm not looking forward to doing the wardrobe. I have hated this wardrobe for so long. Like, I've hated it ever since we moved in, but this room has kind of changed so much over the years. So when we first moved in, it was actually purple, and if you know me, you know purple is my least favorite color in the entire world. I don't know how I put up with it being purple for as long as I did. Like, it was always kind of the goal to paint it, but we didn't get around to it for like months. And then the first time I kind of got my bedroom, I guess, done up, I actually had what we're gonna call the kind of classic British chav room. So I had like the painted gray walls. I had that IKEA gray mandala pattern bedding that like everyone has in the UK. This is back in like 2018, by the way. I had like that big gray mandala picture above my bed. I had crushed velvet everywhere. I very much was following the trends because I wanted to fit in at school. So I wanted to have like the most kind of basic room ever, honestly. Like, it looked like the most stereotypical British girl room you could even imagine. It was so funny. And then after that, I remember I painted it like a lighter gray for a while, but then now for the past few years, it's just been completely white, which is kind of what I like. My new room, I might paint my new room kind of like Victoria's Secret stripes, like the pink and the white stripes, but I'm not too sure. But I keep kind of thinking about it. But yeah, my room looks so different when we first moved in, and now it's just very white and pink. Okay, I've done the basics of the furniture. I've done like my mirror, my 2 desks and everything. So now we're pretty much just gonna decorate in here. So on these shelves, what I used to have was my kind of vinyl records collection. So we're obviously gonna add those. And by that, I mean just a bunch of Arctic Monkeys albums. Now, on the topic of Arctic Monkeys, guys, oh my god, okay, I have like huge exciting news, and this is only gonna be exciting for me. I guarantee most of you don't care. But basically, if you don't know, the band Arctic Monkeys, I am like a huge fan of. I think we all know this by now. My old intro music was an Arctic Monkeys song for like 3 years until a couple months ago, honestly, where they decided to start copywriting me for it. So I've had to change it, which is why at the start of my videos right now, I have like the temporary, just the glossy kind of title with like some glitter noises, because I've had to basically cut that out of my old intro. Now, Arctic Monkeys have done 7 albums. They've been around for years, and their last one was released in 2022. I went to see them at their tour in 2023. But once they stopped touring, what Arctic Monkeys do is they basically disappear. I think it's very similar to, I'm not a Swiftie, but I'm pretty sure Taylor Swift kind of does the same. Like, she doesn't really post or anything unless she's touring. I might be wrong. I'm sure you guys will tell me in the comments if I am. But Arctic Monkeys disappear off the face of the planet. I think since the tour ended in 2023, Alex Turner's been seen alive like, what, a maximum of 10 times in the past 2 years? Like, it's crazy. They just disappear. So we never get news until, you know, a new album's released. However, a new company was made that is like a company by the Arctic Monkeys like yesterday, I think, which has now been marked as active. It's called like Bang Bang or something. It's basically the companies they used to record or something. I don't know. Okay, I don't know how all of it works, but basically, apparently every single time they do a new album, they will make a new company, and now there's a new one, which kind of looks like they're gonna do a new album. I'm so excited. Apparently they have like recording sessions booked in like November or something. Okay, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna quickly go and turn these candles off, because what I like to do is turn them off so they don't affect the lighting, and then add like a black wick on them to make them look more real, I guess. Okay, let me turn these off, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab the smallest kind of round rod, and we're gonna do this. We're gonna make this black, not salmon, and then make it tiny tiny, and then lower this in so it covers the wick like this. And I just think that looks really cute. And in my room, I have so many vanilla candles. It's kind of insane. My favorite vanilla candle is the IKEA one. It's so good. Okay, over here, I need to put some of my perfumes. You know what really annoys me? So you see like the perfume object here. I really hate when bloxburg kind of like adds objects, but they're in like a collection. Like, what if I just want one perfume? You know where it's the most annoying? The nail polishes, because who wants a clump of 3? Like, please just give us the individual ones so I can like display them how I want. Like, I want to make a nail salon soon, and I just know that like that is not gonna work, like having the clump of them, because I want to do them like lined up how you see them in salons, and it's just gonna really, I can tell already how much is gonna bug me. Okay, there's quite a few more details to do in here, but I think I'll time lapse the rest of it as well as the wardrobe. However, let's make a start on the bathroom, because I want to build some of the bathroom on camera. I think most of this is gonna be time lapse because this is such an awkward build, because most of it is just basic shape creation. Like, if I showed every room with me yapping, this video would be at least 2 hours long. So what I think I'm gonna do, we'll build some of the bathroom now quickly, and then I'll time lapse the rest of the top floor, and then I'll yap a bit when we finish like the garden and the garage. But yeah, I need to get this done. I need to post this on Saturday. Okay, first up, what do the walls and floor look like? I cannot remember. Okay, so the tiles are kind of like this like sandy color, and there's like a strip around the top of like this brown stripe, and I had like this round mirror. Honestly, these ones could kind of work, but the spots on it completely ruin it. Oh my god, am I gonna have to make custom ones again? Okay, you know what? I'm gonna make custom tiles for this. This house is kind of gonna be so inconsistent from reference images and stuff, because I've kind of just like done things where I can roughly remember they were, and it kind of changes in every single picture I look at, but it's fine. So I finished all of the tiles, and it actually looks pretty good. Like, this is kind of cute. So what we're gonna do now is very quickly furnish the bathroom before I then go and try and finish the entire top floor. So we have a toilet there, then we also have the sink, and bloxburg actually very nearly has like the exact sink. It pretty much looked exactly like this, except the bottom bit had this was like a drawer in the middle. There we go. And then what we're gonna do is just add everything else around it. So we have a glass shelf that was like over the top, but it was smaller than this one. My toothbrush was in like this bowl holder, and I have no idea how I'm gonna do that, but I could maybe try, because obviously we have this thing and we can make it pretty small. So I feel like maybe I could fake it a little bit. Okay, it looks kind of stupid, but this could kind of, we can just pretend, okay? Pretend it looks like this. Then we can add some shampoo if it'll rotate properly. Okay, these shelves are tiny, but it's kind of realistic, okay? A bar of soap we can add here, and then I'm gonna add this as like a little body scrub. There we go. That kind of matches my shampoo pretty well. Okay, there we go. That's pretty much it for the bathroom for now. And what I'm gonna do now is finish off my room, kind of time lapse everything, and then try and get most of the upstairs done. I have 2 days to finish this. So the main thing that I needed to do to finish off my room was add the wardrobe. So I built those out of basic shapes, and then I added some clothing inside, plus some other things I had in there like storage boxes and drawers. Then I went around the top floor, finishing off some of the kind of wall structures, and the next room to complete was my brother's. So I made the wardrobes that are in there and added like his bed area and his gaming PC and his desk and stuff and anything else in there. His room was pretty minimalistic. Plus I also finished the bathroom in there as well. But after all that was done, I moved on to the first office, which was actually my mum's office. I made the giant desk area, and then I added like the bookshelf she had, but the main decoration in here that I really wanted to include was her pom-poms. She made these really cute pom-poms kind of like that go around her office in a garland, and there's no way I couldn't add it because they're just adorable. So I made these out of basic shaped spheres in all different colors, and then added these just onto a structural on the wall. I also added all of the kind of different clutter items in the office, plus an armchair. You'll notice through this build that my mum really likes armchairs. But once that office was done, it was time to move on to the second office. So this one just had like my Monster High dolls in, plus all of my merch storage where I kind of put all my merch orders together, and then my stepdad had some things in here as well. But starting with the Monster High shelf, I actually added little Susan dolls and just recolored them each time to, I guess, represent the different Monster High dolls. And if any of you are Monster High fans, you'll probably be able to work out the characters I was going for based on their color schemes. After that was done, I added some desks in here and some drawers we had, and I built the custom wardrobes built into the wall, which came out pretty cute. And then I just added some of the basic decorations in there. Then I moved on into the main bathroom of the house. So this one also needed custom tiles, and because of this room shape and size, it took quite a while to finish them. But after that was done, I added all the stuff into the bathroom, which I don't think I actually got a clip of. And then the only room left to do was my parents' room, which honestly kind of came out as my favorite room. I did have to kind of readjust the size because I made the scaling off, but that was pretty cute as well. And that is pretty much everything. Okay, this build is so nearly finished finally. This has been driving me insane, but what we're gonna do now is actually move on to the garden. I also need to do the front of the house, but I think I'll do that off camera, kind of like before we do the tour. I just really need this finished. I was meant to post it yesterday, I actually have some really good photos of it. So obviously we have like the big grass area. We have the other side like this. I think what I'm gonna do first is this side so I can build like the decking thing and everything. But I'm just so glad it's nearly done because as cool as this build is, it's been driving me crazy. I was meant to post this yesterday because obviously I wanted to post it on Saturday. However, I didn't get it done on time, and it's totally not because I spent all weekend playing on wplays.live, which if you don't know what that is, it's basically this website where it's like basically like a giant Google Maps, but you can draw on it with pixels and people all over the world can, and everyone's kind of in. You've probably seen it on TikTok. If you're kind of like on the same side of TikTok I am, everyone on TikTok is doing it. There's like this little character thing that people are putting on it everywhere. I think it's called EFO. I have no idea what it is, like zero clue, but people are drawing that all over it. And we actually have like a glossy area, so you can actually make alliances where you can like all kind of have like a main area you draw in. If you want to join ours, we have it in the Discord announcement server, but we have like our own little area where we've kind of covered in glossy related drawings, which is really cute. This is it here. So we have like sub to glossy, we have like my logo, bloxburg, we have everyone's names, we have, there it is, there's those weird little characters. What is that from? We have a little glossy drawing, another one there, we have gloss boss, we have this one which is adorable, and then we also have this giant one being made right now as well. But yeah, you can come and draw. It's up in Newcastle for anyone wondering. But yeah, I'm just trying to get this kind of area done first with like the decking and everything. We had kind of like this mesh fence that would kind of run along here, but there's not really any that would match. Maybe like the barbed wire, but I feel like that's kind of scary looking. Okay, maybe I'll just add this in. Okay, so this is looking pretty good. I've done like this kind of whole area. I added some trees behind the fence, and there's not that much to do in the garden, so I think I will finish a lot of it offline. I need to make some bamboo though, because we have bamboo like along this kind of fence and in this corner as well, but we don't have it in game. I swear we don't have it in game yet. Wait, do we? No, we don't. They should really add bamboo. I feel like that would be so cute. We're gonna place some kind of like outdoor chairs over here. We need a fire pit too. Mine was square though. We had like a big square one, so I feel like maybe I should make like a custom kind of square to go around it. But yeah, we had that. We had a kind of dining area. So what I'm gonna use, I haven't used this in ages, is the clear dining table. This was like my go-to table in like 2018, 2019 to use. But yeah, I'm gonna add that. I'm gonna add, where's the outdoor chairs? These things, we did actually have like an outdoor sofa, but at one point we had the chairs, and I feel like this is more accurate. We had like two kind of trees over here. And then behind here, I don't know how I'm gonna do this, but oh wait, no, I need to add the garden gate. Anyways, behind over here, we had like a big oil tanker, like this massive tank that was behind a bush, because our kind of like showers and stuff, like all the hot water and the heating was powered by oil instead of kind of like gas or anything. Okay, and then we had a shed here. We did have a shed door in here as well. There was like two sheds connected to each other. Oh my god, the scale's doing my head in. Okay, once again, the scale of this is really annoying me, but what I'm gonna go do is kind of add the final details to the garden, because there's not really that much to do. I'm also gonna finish the front of the house here and add kind of like all the pictures on the inside. We're so nearly done, so I'm just gonna go and finish everything off camera, and then I will see you guys in a few seconds for the final tour. Finally, this has only taken me like 2 weeks. So my house is finally complete, and I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of a tour. I'm gonna try and do like comparison images. I don't know how well this is gonna go, but first of course we have the front of the house. So what I did add was like all the window kind of things. I had to add like an extension onto the roof because I realized the windows went all the way up to the top, so I had to edit that. But this is what it's looking like. I think this looks pretty good. I will do like a little comparison here. I've already made the thumbnail to this, and I actually think I got kind of like the house front spot on. It looks so good. Just ignore obviously the sides because this was like other people's houses, but this is what it looks like. Very cute. And then what we're gonna do is go inside, and all of the doors I've had to kind of like open because obviously all of them are custom, so we're gonna have to squeeze through here. But first up, we have the hallway area. It's still so weird to me because it feels so real, but this is what the hallway looks like. And then this is the actual picture of the hallway. I think it looks pretty good. Also, you may have noticed that I do actually have like the pictures and stuff up, so obviously I wasn't going to be able to find like the actual pictures of all the paintings and stuff we have, so I decided to draw them, so every painting you see has been drawn by me basically. Next, we have the bathroom in here. Once again, this is the actual bathroom, and then we have my version. It looks so short. Why does the ceiling look so low down? Like I feel like it's so squished, but yeah, this is this room. Before we go go into the main part of the house as well, I'm going to show you the garage. So I didn't actually do this accurately. So what we actually had in the garage was we had these fake walls. So we also had a room in here, and then this was actually my stepdad's kind of like recording studio. But I didn't do any of this because it wasn't going to be shown, and he also had like a bunch of like Funko Pops and stuff, and honestly I could not be bothered to make those, so I just left that empty. Same with this room. This just had a bunch of kind of storage stuff in it, but we did have a gym in this one, so I kind of did the gym a little bit. I don't think I have like a reference image for this though to show you, but anyways, if we go into the main area of the house, we first of all have the kitchen. So this is the actual kitchen, and then this is my recreation. It does look a lot wider, but the pictures for some reason make everything look a bit smaller. Like this is kind of more accurate to the real scale, but we have like the kitchen area. We have the utility room in here with just a bunch of stuff. This is meant to be an air fryer. I couldn't be bothered to custom make one, okay? All of this which looks pretty good. I think I've done a pretty good job for the kitchen, not gonna lie. Then we have another angle, kind of like the dining room here, and then this is my recreation. This thing is meant to be like, we had this like metal decorative plate on the wall, and then this is meant to be a palm tree lamp. Another one of my beautiful painting recreations. It's just so weird, okay? I can't get over how weird it is to be like walking around in this. But yeah, the dining room area is very simple, but then we have maybe my favorite kind of room in this. I think one of my favorites, the living room. I think this one actually looks pretty good. Here's a picture of the living room area, and then of course here's my version. The sofa I'm so proud of. Like this looks so good, and like the cat tree looks real. And then this was my attempt at making like the reindeer lamp thing we had. Another one of the paintings. I think this room looks good, okay? It looks so realistic out of all of it. And then we also have the conservatory, which has like the cat kind of area, a sofa, and then the scratch post, and then I added the cats here just chilling. But that's pretty much it for downstairs. So now what we're gonna do is go into the back garden, and I've just realized, oh wait, no, this is a real door at the back, isn't it? Yes, it is. Okay, we can go out this way, but this is the garden area. It kind of sucks, not gonna lie. But starting with this side, we're gonna start over here. Here is the real garden, and then here is my recreation. I love this area. This looks so cute, and like the swing and everything. Like I think this looks pretty good. The fireplace and stuff. It was kind of more difficult to do the garden, weirdly. But yeah, we have like the table area, the barbecue, and then over here we have like the big grass area. The scale is so off, but we have like some bamboo, some trees. This is like the back area where we had the bins and like the oil tank, and then we have the shed, which doesn't have anything in it, but this is kind of what the shed looked like. But yeah, that is pretty much the garden. But if we go back in here and we head upstairs, we have the second floor. I don't actually have any pictures of the hallway, but this is the hallway, and honestly this looks so accurate. It's crazy. This is just kind of like a bit too long, but this looks really good. Like this does look like the hallway. What room should we start with? Okay, we're gonna start with my bedroom. So I'm gonna show you the reference images. I do have some like nice pictures they took of my room. However, it looks a lot different from this, okay? Because they took these pictures after we had kind of started moving stuff around to move out. So let me just go here. So this is the kind of, I guess, reference image. This is the real room, how it looked like just before we moved out, and then this is my build. So it does look a bit different, but honestly it looks more accurate to how I had it for the longest. So if you look up here, I added all the vinyl covers, and I actually did a mix of actual Arctic Monkeys album covers and then some ones that I recreated for my record store like 3 years ago, which is pretty cool. We have my bed kind of area, the wardrobes. All of this looks pretty good. I did actually want to make this neater. So you see this neon sign here. I know this kind of sucks. However, it reminds me so much of the original one I made when I recreated this room like 3 years ago. So I kind of wanted to keep it. We have like my picture frame, and then we have the bathroom. So let me just get a picture. This is what it actually looked like, and then this is my recreation. The bathroom looks so spot on. It's kind of crazy. This looks pretty good, but that's pretty much my room area. Next we're gonna do my mom's office. So here is a picture of what it looked like, but a lot of stuff had been moved out of it at this point. And then here is my recreation. Once again, I did like the painting, but we have her office area. Very cute. We have a train over here, but this is meant to be, she has like this Lego Harry Potter night bus build. That is the closest I could get to it. But yeah, this is the little office. Oh yeah, I even made a printer, which kind of looks pretty cool. Next we have my brother's room over here. So this is what it actually looked like, and then this is my recreation. I think I got this pretty spot on, to be fair. This looks pretty good. It's just kind of a bit too long, but we have his room. We have the little bathroom. Then we have the main bathroom down the hall. So this is what the bathroom looked like, and then this is my recreation. This one took me quite a while to do, but it looks kind of cute. Then we have the other office, and I don't actually think there is a reference image for this, but this is what it looks like. So we have the wardrobe. I just put an ironing board in here. We had my merch area, my Monster High dolls. This was kind of my stepdad's kind of area. I forgot to delete that, but I put a movie poster here because he had movie posters, so I put my own, obviously. But this is the office, and then last but not least, we have what I think is probably my favorite room out of all of this, my parents' room. I feel like this looks pretty good. So this is what it looked like, and then this is my recreation. I love the bed area. This looks so cute. We have like my mom's dressing room, the picture we had, the wardrobes and stuff like that. But that is pretty much it. That is my real life house built in Bloxburg. This took far too long. Honestly, I'm sick of the sight of this build. Like, genuinely, I've been so tired of building this because it's taken way too long, but I am genuinely really proud of it though. I think it looks pretty good, very accurate. It's really weird to kind of just be stood in here, but that is pretty much it. And that is all for today's video. As per usual, let me know what you guys think down below. I'm curious to know how accurate you think it is, especially now that you guys have actually seen the real thing finally. But as per usual, all my channel members, Nitro boosters and merch buyers will be on screen now. Thank you so much for joining the channel, boosting the Discord server and buying my real life merch. I love you all, and in general, I love you all so much, glossettes. XOXO, Glossy Gal.